Keeping the questions in-house. You might remember about a month back, our own columnist, Andy Bazzo, kind of criticized all four of you. I'm not going to repeat the headline. I think you know the sentiment.
It was wonderful.
But what do you say to the criticism of your own party's direction? And why do you think you're the best candidates from your party? And I'll start with, I'll start with Tom on this one.
Oh, thanks, Brian. Well, you know, the party reached out to people, and there was a group of people for both positions. And it went to a vote of the party, and the party picked who they felt were the two best candidates. With regard to Mr. Bazzo's column, you know, it's interesting that because someone wants to try to do something and wants to get back into the community service and wants to try several times, they find a problem with that. I personally don't find a problem. To stop trying is to fail. We're not put on this earth to fail. We're not put in this position or on a town board to fail. If we fail the constituents of this town. If anybody looks into the history of Abraham Lincoln ran for a lot of things before he was finally elected. And I think it was about 17 things that he ran for. And his perseverance paid off. And I think my perseverance is going to pay off this time.
All right, I don't want this side to hog up the whole thing, but I'll let Bob go and then you guys respond.
Okay, well, you know, how parties choose their candidates is sometimes baffling to me. I've been involved in politics for 25, 30 years. The people who I've thought, hey, you know, that gal or that guy is going to go somewhere, that you know, I can't see them, you know, going with this one or that one. You don't know what the makeup is of the nominating committee and the people who do the interviews, and I've had my share of interviews, and I often have questioned over the years what some of, you know, what the capabilities and what the credentials were of some of those people. So what you have is a lot of people with good intent who are chosen to do a task that maybe they're not good at. So sometimes they get a good guy or gal in, and sometimes they don't. I'd like to think this time they got a good guy in, and I'd like to think that they saw my resume, they saw my commitment to the community that I live in, that my extensive background and experience, my devotion to the town, and my perseverance and persistence. And when I say I'm going to do something, I do it. And the worst thing that could happen to me is for somebody to come to me and say, you said you were going to do this and you didn't do it. And the most annoying thing you could do to me is come to me and ask me how come it might not be done yet. But I understand the nature of people, but that's kind of it.
We'll start with Roseanne.
Mr. Bazzo's article, it really had no basis, and there was no fact to anything that he had said about me. He's never met me. He's never even spoken to me. So I really kind of just disregard that. People are gonna talk, and they're gonna write things, and that's just part of the job. I think the party chose me because they saw someone new who was interested in giving time to the community and giving back, in devoting myself to the place that I'm going to, you know, I plan on raising my kids and living here for a really long time. They saw someone who had an extensive resume prior to becoming a stay-at-home mom. And it involves quite extensive background working with government agencies. I had a top secret security clearance by the time I was 25, working on government, you know, undercover government accounts. So I do have a background in working with people and in getting the job done. So I think they were just, you know, interested, and they know that I'm not afraid to speak up, and that I'm not afraid to ask questions, even if they're hard questions, and so, you know, they put their faith in me. So.
Well, I think it's interesting, as Roseanne had just said, that Mr. Bazzo did not interview any one of us to really find out where we stand, or why we're doing this, or what our, I don't even know that he knows really what all our backgrounds are. So disregard, and he actually contradicted himself. I thought recycling was good, but apparently not.
Depends on if you're on the
but,
right or the left.
Yeah. Then he contradicted himself by saying that we shouldn't have retreads, but that he thought that the Democrats should have put up Jim Monterano, who was there for 20 years, and Lonnie Gilbert, who was a judge and has been involved. So
Check the tires on his taxi.
make your mind up. I think the party chose me. I have been involved for 30 years in town government. I've been involved in the party for that long, and I think that my experience going forward on the town board in November, there will be three seats up for re-election, and there could be a change in the dynamic of the board again. And I think to add some stability over the course of, when did you say, 2013? We haven't had a 5-member board, and to add some stability to the board going forward till we get back into the regular election cycles would be a good thing.